Hi, thank you for joining today's class. I'm teaching a very important aspect of pronoun in today's video, and that is how to use the pronouns I and the me. Users of English language are often confused where to use the pronoun I or to use the pronoun me. By the way, there is an extensive lesson on pronouns on this channel. If you haven't seen those videos, check the description of this video. I'll be dropping the links there for you. You may check those videos on pronouns out so that you can have thorough understanding of pronouns, different types of pronouns, and how to use them. Also, if you are coming across this channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And to my regular viewers who haven't subscribed yet, do not forget to subscribe today. I can assure you there is a lot of good stuff to learn on this channel. So back to today's lesson. I listen to people who use the English language a lot, and I realize that the mistakes of using the pronoun me in places where I is grammatically appropriate and vice versa are very common. As an English language teacher, over the years, I've read essays, a good number of essays written by students, and I can tell you that these mistakes are very prominent. Even native speakers are not immune to them. So the objective of this video is to correct these mistakes and open the eyes of the people to where each of them is appropriate and where each of these two pronouns is not grammatically appropriate. In my previous videos on pronouns, I made clear differences between subject pronouns and object pronouns. I'm referring to subject and object pronouns because the knowledge of object and subject case in pronouns is very important in order to avoid the mistakes of using I and me wrongly. The pronouns I and me are both the first person singular pronouns. I and me are pronouns. You use them instead of mentioning your name when you speak about yourself. However, I is subjective while me is objective. I mean, I is usually used as the subject of the sentence, while me is usually used as the object of the verb or of a preposition. This implies that I is used as the doer of the verb, while me is usually used as the receiver of the action of the verb. Sometimes, I as the subject of the sentence may not be the doer of any verb, but then the person whom the sentence is all about. For example, I am from South Africa. I in this sentence is the subject of the sentence. The sentence is all about the pronoun I, all about the pronoun who was talking in this situation. In example B, my friends call me Mandela. In this case, me is the object of the verb call. And in example C, would you rather sit beside me? Me in example C is the object of the preposition beside. Now, for us to be able to differentiate where to use I from where to use me, you would realize that if you put the pronoun I in the place where me is supposed to function, the sentence naturally sounds redundant. And if you put the pronoun me where I is supposed to function, the sentence does not really sound well. For example, in example here where we have I am from South Africa, if we put the pronoun me in that place instead of I, it's going to be me am from South Africa. This sentence is not correct because you are putting the object pronoun me in the place of the subject. So if you try to put I in example B instead of me and I instead of me in example C, you would realize that the sentences would not really sound well. On this page, I try to put examples of both pronouns just right in front of each other so that we will be able to differentiate between the two. We'll be able to differentiate how to use I from how to use me. In example A, I as the subject of the sentence, we have I came with my mom. I is the subject of the sentence. In the object version, we have me. My mom came with me. So in this case, me is the object of the preposition with. In example B, I respect you. I is the subject of the sentence. It performs the verb respect. I is the doer of the verb respect. While in example B, under object, you respect me. In this case, me is the object of the verb respect. In example C, I spoke to Eunice. I spoke to Eunice. I is the subject of the sentence. It is the doer of the verb spoke. Whereas in example C, under the object, Eunice spoke to me. In this case, me is the object of the preposition to. Eunice spoke to me. To me. Me is the object of the preposition to. Let's come to example D. I drove the green car. I drove the green car. In this case, I is the subject of the sentence. It performs the verb drove. Example D, in the object side of the example, the green car was driven by me. In this case, me is the object of the preposition by me. Before we go to example E, I must tell us that we have to be very careful whenever we have multiple subjects, because that is where we make most of these mistakes. So in example E, Joseph and I are actors. That is the correct version. Joseph and I are actors. Because Joseph and I are in the subject position, so it is correct to say Joseph and I are actors, not Joseph and me are actors. Me cannot function in that part of the sentence because that is the place for subject. And do not forget, me is an object pronoun. So do not say Joseph and me, Tunde and me, Muhammad and me, Stanley and me. Instead, say Joseph and I, Stanley and I, Muhammad and I, Howdy and I, Eunice and I. Then you construct the full sentence. Let's come to the object form of it. People do not like, People don't like Joseph and me. People don't like Joseph and me. So in this place too, me is correct here because Joseph and me are the object of the verb don't like. The verb don't like, Joseph and me are the object. So in this place, object is appropriate here. The object form is appropriate here. So people don't like Joseph and me. Example F, as the subject, Tunde and I are to cook the meal. Tunde and I are to cook the meal. Of course, Tunde and I are the performer or the supposedly performer of the verb cook. Tunde and I are the subject of the sentence. So do not forget, Tunde and I are to cook the meal, not Tunde and me, because me cannot function in that part of the sentence. Tunde and I are to cook the meal. So sometimes we may have more than two as a multiple subject. For example, we can have Tunde, Stanley, and I are to cook the meal. So do not forget. So as the object, she got some gifts for Tunde and me. She got some gifts for Tunde and me. Not she got some gifts for Tunde and I. The reason is because Tunde and me here are the object of the preposition for. So do not say for Tunde and I. Say for Tunde and me. Now we are going to stay a bit on this page. There are some things I also want to explain. If you are confused on whether to use I or me whenever you have multiple subjects, you can decide to cut the sentence into two, using each of the subjects separately in the same sentence. For example, let's come to example E, where we have Joseph and I are actors. You may be confused whether you want to use Joseph and me are actors. But then, if you are confused on what to use, you can try to separate the sentence. First of all, you will pick the first subject of the sentence. Joseph is an actor. Then you want to use your own, that is the pronoun. So you cannot try, I am an actor. Is it correct? Me am an actor. You realize that me does not function. So it is I am an actor. So therefore, Joseph and I are actors. Okay, for example, let's come to the object form of it. Try to split the sentence into two, using each of the nouns and the pronouns separately. Okay, people don't like Joseph. That is correct. Now let's use the other pronoun. People don't like me. People don't like I. You realize that I does not sound well in that part of the sentence. So it is people don't like me. Therefore, me is appropriate. Then you can now join the two together by saying people don't like Joseph and me. Even in example F, Tunde and I are to cook the meal. Try to separate it. Tunde is to cook the meal. I am to cook the meal. Me am to cook the meal. Me cannot function there. So it is I am to cook the meal. Then it is correct to say Tunde and I are to cook the meal. So this is another way you can figure out which one is appropriate. Is it me or I? On this page, we want us to remember that whenever you use multiple subjects or objects, the pronoun I or me should always come last. The pronoun I or me should always come last. This is one of the ways to show politeness and selflessness in English language. For example, always say, Smith, Audu, and I are classmates. Smith, Audu, and I are classmates. I should come at the end of the list. Smith, Audu, and I are classmates. That is the correct version. Do not say Smith, Audu, and me are classmates. In this case, the mistake is not from the arrangement, but the usage of me instead of I. In example C, Smith, I, and Audu are classmates. Do not say this as well. Smith, I, and Audu are classmates. The reason is because I should not be in the middle. It should be at the end of the list. Example D is wrong as well. I, Smith, and Audu are classmates. I should not come first. Me should not come first. It should come at the end of the list. So example A is the correct form. Smith, Audu, and I are classmates. In example E, the principal punished John and me. The principal punished John and me. Very correct. You should not say the principal punished me and John. Me should not come first. It should come at the end of the list. The principal punished John and me. So on this page, we want to know how to know which pronoun to use. How to know which pronoun to use, I or me. So here I want to give you some tips on how to know which of them to use. Now the first tip is, if the pronoun comes before a verb, it is likely to be the subject of the sentence or the doer of the verb. So use I. Use I. If the pronoun comes before a verb, use I. Example A, I helped my sister this morning. I is the doer of the verb helped. So it is the subject of the sentence. I is appropriate. Example B, I am very happy to be here. In example B, I is the subject of the sentence. So I is very appropriate. In these two examples, if we try to fix me in the places where we have put I, it will not sound well. Now let's come to the second tip. If the pronoun comes after a verb, use me. If the pronoun comes after a verb, it is likely to be the object of the verb. So use me. Example A, my sister helped me this morning. Here, me is the object of the verb helped, so me is appropriate. She invited me to the event. Me is the object of the verb invited. So let's come to the third tip. It is not only verbs that take objects. In English language, prepositions also take objects. So when the pronoun comes after a preposition, use me, because that pronoun is likely to be the object of the preposition. So if the pronoun comes after a preposition, use me. Example A. Is there any fight between Smith and me? Is there any fight between Smith and me? Yeah, Smith and me are the object of the preposition between. So me is appropriate. I is not appropriate. Me is appropriate. Example B. She brought some gifts for me. She brought some gifts for me. Here, me is the object of the preposition for, because it comes after the preposition. Other examples of prepositions followed by me include on me, at me, upon me, in me, than me, beyond me, except me, to me, over me, about me, from me, beside me, and many other prepositions followed by me. Now the last tip here is be sure of the position that the pronoun is occupying. Be sure of the position that the pronoun is occupying. The subject position or the object position. If the pronoun is occupying the subject position, use I. And if the pronoun is occupying the object position, use me. In example A, subject helped my sister this morning. Subject helped my sister this morning. Because that place is the position of the subject. That's why I put subject there. Subject helped my sister this morning. So we are going to use I in the place of subject. I helped my sister this morning. Example B, my sister helped object this morning. So I'm putting object there because that is the position of object. My sister helped object this morning. So let's put the pronoun that is in the object case in that place, in that particular position. My sister helped me this morning. So we've come to the end of the lesson, but then I have this exercise for us. Let's practice with these exercises. We have 6 of them. So fill each of the blank spaces with the appropriate pronoun, I or me. 1. Blank, I've never seen a monster. So put I or me in that blank space. 2. Could you pass blank the salt? Could you pass blank the salt? Example 3. Number 3 rather. Williams lent you and blank some money. 4. Henry and blank are studying computer science. 5. The man gave James and blank some instructions. 6, which is the last one, blank enjoy playing the guitar. Pause the video here so you can have enough time to write the exercises down in your note and then practice with them. So thank you for joining the channel once again. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share with your friends, share with your classmates. If you are an adult, you are a parent, recommend these videos to your children, to your friends who have kids. They can learn a lot from these videos on this channel. Thank you. Do have a nice day. Bye-bye.